So that was long division, okay? Now, the next one you probably have seen as well. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm not going to assume people have seen it before. But long division, I mean, it's not terrible, but, you know, it's not short. Okay, it's not the simplest thing to do. In a special case, though, you can use something called synthetic division. In other words, if your divisor is of this form, x minus a, you know, where a is a number, then you can use a shortcut method called synthetic division. I mean, you could always use long division if you wanted to, okay? I mean, at first I was thinking about skipping teaching synthetic division, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to go through it. Yeah, okay. So anyway, with synthetic division, okay, here's what you do. I mean, again, I'm demonstrating it through an example. So you have your dividend, which is f of x, right? What you're going to do is you want to make sure it's in standard form. Here you do have to add a 0 for each missing term, okay? You know, just like we did here, you want to add a 0 in for each missing term. You really have to do that actually here. Okay, now what you're going to do is this. You're going to make a grid like this, where for each column corresponds to a coefficient of your dividend. So for instance here, right, let's say we're dividing this here by x minus 3. Notice here we're missing x cubed, right? So I'm going to insert that with a 0. Okay? I inserted it with a 0. Okay. Now, what I'm doing next is, again, I'm making this grid. Each column corresponds to a coefficient. So 0 corresponds to this 0. -3 corresponds to this here. 5 corresponds to 5. Minus 63 corresponds to this. Okay? So you do have to use 0 for missing terms here. Okay? All right. Good. All right. Now here, the x minus 3, what you're going to do is you're going to make another column on the far left. And that far left column, you're going to use a 3, like here. So x minus 3, you're going to put 3 here for that. And then here's the process that we're going to do. There we go. I had to turn something off. What you're going to do is this. You're going to bring down this number 3. I called it the first coefficient. No, excuse me, you're not going to bring it down. Sorry, my mistake. The 2, the first coefficient, that you're going to bring down. So this you're going to bring down here. Let me get the arrows, actually. I'll make it easier. So you're going to, this comes down, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to multiply these two together, and the answer is going to go here. Again, 3 times 2 becomes 6. That goes here. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're basically going to repeat the process. Instead of multiplying 3 with 2, you're going to multiply 3 with 6. So now, let me see if I can draw this. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, I'm good. You're going to multiply 3 with 6, and that answer is going to go here in this blank one. So 3 times 6 is 18, right? So 18 goes here. Then you're going to add -3 to 18. You know, the column, the top row in the column that is, right? You're going to add the numbers together, and you get 15. Then you're going to multiply this 3. So then what you're going to do next, let me get the laser and I'll show you. You're going to take the 3, multiply it with this 15, right? You get 45. As I have below, 45 is going to go here. And then you add with the number above it. In this case, you're going to get 50. So basically, again, with this number, you multiply, put the answer here, and add. Multiply, put the answer here to the up to the right, and then add. Multiply, answer goes here, add. So what do we do next? Multiply, that gives us 150. We put it up here, and now we add. And that's what I'm doing here. So that's what happens here. So that's what we get. So now we get 87. Now notice there's no columns over here, so we stop. These numbers are the coefficient. No, excuse me. Well, let me say it again. These numbers are the coefficients of your quotient, and it's always 1 degree less than your dividend. So if I remember correctly, the dividend was, what was that? That was, oh boy. Oh, that was degree 4, right? So the quotient will be degree 3. So here. So this quotient, these are the coefficients, its degree will be 3. The remainder is always this. So what we have is this then. Our quotient is 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 15x plus 50. The remainder here is 87. Okay. And so from there, just like in the division algorithm, we have our dividend, that's equal to our divisor, x minus 3, times our quotient plus our remainder. What's nice is here, the remainder has to be a number. Because again, by the division algorithm, the degree of it has to be, its degree has to be, it's either got to be 0 or it has to have degree less than the divisor, less than the degree of the divisor. Now the divisor is x minus 3, which has degree 1. So it's got to be a number here. You know, a non-zero number has degree 0. So we have this. Before we do another example, were there any questions on this? I figured we'd do another example.
So 87, you're just looking for the remainder here. Like once you get that, you're good.
No, you're looking for the quotient and remainder, and then you want to write it like this.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Or you can write the other way, as in the division algorithm. So that's what we're looking for. You're really looking for the quotient and remainder. Or the remainder will give, you can actually get the remainder more easily. We'll see that maybe later today. It's actually another theorem that's very useful. Any good question? Any other questions? Okay, here's another one. And again, you really don't have to use this. You could use long division if you want. I just figured it'd be good to do synthetic division. I mean, it is a little bit easier. But anyway, so we have our quotient here, right? Not quotient, excuse me, what am I saying? This is the dividend, right? So we have our columns in our grid, right? We're dividing by x minus 3. So the 3 would be in the first column. Then we have 2 minus 7. There's no x term, so we have a 0 as a placeholder for that. And the constant term is 5. So again, how do we do this? The 2 comes down, as you can see. That is, whatever's up here, that comes down. Okay. You do 3 times 2, and that's going to go here, as below. That's a 6. Then negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1, as you can see. Right? Negative 1. Now you're going to do the process again. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. That's going to go here, or in this case here. Okay, that's in the next entry. Add, you get negative 3 down here, and do the process again. 3 times negative 3 down here. Okay. That's negative 9, that goes here. and that's illustrated here. Then you add to get -4. And now there's nothing after that, so we stop. So here the quotient is 2x squared minus x minus 3, and our remainder is -4. Again, the quotient's always 1 degree less than the dividend. So the dividend was degree 3. Here we have, this was our dividend. As you can see, we have degree 2. Okay? And our remainder is -4. So that's another example. Hope that made sense. Not done yet, just got to change the recording.